Hello and welcome to our video on transposing equations. So the type of question you're going to get is something like this that has lots of different letters in it. And this type of an equation is called a literal equation. Because it has more than two unknowns in it. And you can substitute A's, B's and X's in there to get whatever number that, and you'll get all different numbers. When you are asked to transpose an equation, you will be asked to make one of the variables the subject. So type of question will say, make X the subject, or it might say make B the subject, or it might say make A the subject. This equation already has A the subject. So when it says making one letter the subject, it means make it X equals. Put it in X equals form. So if it says put it in make A the subject, it means A equals form, and this is what you would write. It's already there. If we're trying to make X the subject, we're going to have to rearrange the equation so that it's in X equals form and X is by itself on one side. So we just use our same inverse operations to do that. We want X to be by itself, so we need to get rid of this negative B. Opposite of minus B is plus B. Make sure you do it to both sides. These two cancel. We're left with X by itself equals, and we can't, these are not like terms, so we can't add them. So we just write it as A plus B. Have we made X the subject and put it in X equals form? Yes, we have. So that's what we need to do to make X the subject. Remember, when we are transposing equations, that's what this is called. When we're transposing equations, we are not changing the equation at all. We're just rearranging it to make one of the other letters the subject. Let's look at a second example. Okay, this one's got a few more variables in it, but we can still work it out. X plus 3b minus m equals h minus d. So this is another example of a literal equation, and this one is going to ask us to make m the subject. So we're trying to get it into m equals form. You might like to pause the video and have a go, otherwise you can watch on with me now. We're trying to get m by itself, so I need to remove the x and the 3b. You could do that one at a time. I'm going to do them all in one go. So I'll go minus x and minus 3b. Oh, to both sides. Minus x minus 3b. So I'm left with these cancel. I'm left with negative m on this side equals, none of these are like terms, so it's going to be h minus d minus x minus 3b. Nothing we can simplify there. Now this is negative m, it's not m equals, so we need to divide by negative 1, because remember this is negative 1 times m. Divide by negative 1, and divide all these ones by negative 1. And remember the trick when you're dividing by negative 1, you can just change the sign around. So this negative becomes a plus, which is what we want, plus m. This will become a negative, this will be a positive, this will be a positive, and this will be a positive. And we've made m the subject. Example 3 is C equals A bracket x plus b, and we're going to make b the subject. Okay, this one's a bit trickier because the b is inside the brackets, So we've got two options. We could expand the brackets first so we don't have brackets anymore. But because we want to get to something that's inside the brackets, what I'm going to do is all in one go, I can divide by this A. So the brackets means A times everything inside the brackets. So the opposite of that is divide by A and divide by A. So we end up with C over A equals, these two cancel, and we've just got X plus B, and there's no more brackets anymore. Now we can easily see that we need to get rid of the X here. So minus X from both sides. Careful how you write this out. C over A, take away X equals, these two cancel, B. So it's in B equals form. And we could rewrite this one as B equals C over A, take X. Example 4, C equals square root of A squared plus B squared. So remember the square root sign acts like brackets. So to get anything inside there, because we're trying to make B the subject, to get at anything inside there, we have to get rid of the square root sign first. So the opposite of square root is squared, so we can just make this side squared, square this side, and then we get rid of the square root on this side. A squared plus B squared, that might look familiar to you as Pythagoras. We're still trying to make B the subject, so we need to take away the A squared from both sides. C squared take A squared equals B squared. Now we've got this squared on here. So we need to get rid of that, which is the opposite of the square root. Remember, to get rid of square root, we put a squared on the opposite side. The opposite of, to get rid of a squared, you need to put a square root. So we can take this whole side and put a square root here. And get rid of the square here. So it's just B. B equals the square root of C squared minus A squared. Thanks for watching the video.